After a somewhat shaky start at Snetterton, things have been going rather well for JCW driver Jake Packen. Well, that was until Brands. Jake, you've notched up the most number of wins actually in the championship, 7 I believe, but it all went a little bit pear-shaped for you at Brands, didn't it?
Sure did. I mean, it would have definitely been an extra 3 wins on the cards there if it weren't for the problem that we kept coming up across. It was a heat-related issue, and that basically cost us 3 wins. So we're definitely looking to come back and win. And
well, I was going to say, if it's a heat-related issue, is that going to be a problem for today?
With it being hotter, it allowed us to help establish the fault a bit easier. So we've got that sorted now. We didn't have the best qualifying just now, but I mean, I'm confident I'm going to come back out and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win.
We were speaking to Jake. This is Jake's car, and we were talking about the heat problems that you've been having. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. With these conditions, we have tyre issues, brake issues, and it's all about trying to keep the car as cool as possible. One of the worst things we can do is overheat tyres, brakes, and it's all about fine-tuning geometry, tyre pressures, just to make sure that we keep things how they need to be to give us an optimum lap time.
For race at number 2, it's a rolling start with a reverse of the top 6. So that mixes things up somewhat on the grid and gives the front runners in both classes something to work on.
The reverse grid race always gives us an awful lot of entertainment, and particularly when you've got somebody like Luke Caudle who is starting from pole position. A rolling start as well for this one, so it's going to be very, very lively as away they go on their formation lap. Last opportunity to familiarise themselves with this Oulton Park International Circuit. And this then is how they're going to line up with, in pole position, Luke Caudle from Jono Brown, Lee Allen and Jake Packen. Chris Smiley, of course, starts from 6th. In the Cooper class, it's much the same thing, so it's Gideon Cresswell who starts from pole from Ricky Page on that front row for the Cooper class. Problems, though, for Ben Gridley. He is pushed to the side of the track before the race can get underway. The pace car is about to peel in, so it's up to Luke Caudle to bring the field round as we're about to go racing once more here in the mini challenge at Oulton Park, as the red lights flash off any second now, and away we go. Who's going to get the jump from the line as they sprint towards Oulton? It is Luke Caudle who takes the immediate advantage. 2nd place, the black car, Jono Brown. 3rd place, the black and green machine, Jake Packen. And Lee Allen slips down into 4th position as he runs wide over the rumble strip. It's still Gideon Cresswell, car 3, who leads the Cooper classes. They're all very, very tight as they head around Cascades for the first time, sprinting along Lakeside, and the top 6 really running as one. As through into 4th position goes Chris Smiley. He demotes Lee Allen as it's still Luke Caudle who leads the way from Jono Brown, and then Jake Packen. Packen you can pick out easily. He's the fluorescent green markings, and then the red car of Chris Smiley, the blue machine of Lee Allen, then the black and orange car of Chris Smith. And that leading group still just trying to break clear of Kevin O'Connor at the moment as they head over the curbs at Britain's for the first time in car with Josh Godden, who's in the thick of the action, of course, in the Cooper class, just in behind Ollie Walker. It's Craig Freeman as well, who is in amongst that group of cars as they all hit the brakes, constantly roughing each other. A big leap over the curbs there from Josh Gollin, as Luke Caudle still leads the way from Jono Brown as they exit Hizzies for the first time of asking and head up over Clay Hill. That leading group of 4 now beginning to emerge as Lee Allen and Chris Smith just slip back, in particular Chris Smiley in 4th, looking particularly potent in pursuit of Jake Packen as around Druids they head. There is Chris Smith, who's been so consistent this year in terms of bringing the car home to the finish more often than not. He's got to find a way past Lee Allen fairly quickly if he wants to join in with this leading group. He might be helped in that, though, by the fact that Luke Caudle is still appearing to be the cork in the bottle somewhat. Jono Brown in pursuit. His first season in the JCW car, Jono Brown having graduated up from the Cooper class. And what about this in the Cooper class? And Gideon Cresswell leads the way. Ricky Page is 2nd, Ollie Walker 3rd, and then it's Shane Stoney, the race 1 winner, like Chris Smiley, 4th in the Cooper class. Their top 6 all run as one. The top 5 in the JCW class running as one, as Chris Smith has found his way past Lee Allen. Chris Smiley still seeking the opportunity to overhaul Jake Packen as Shane Stoney makes the move. Gideon Cresswell into Island Bend, and Cresswell hung out to drive the grass, and around he goes The car snaps sideways, back around and into the gravel trap. That's a scary ride for Gideon Cresswell. Does very well to avoid being collected, and he spins up the front wheels, rejoins the race, but still Luke Cordell commands the JCW runners. Jono Brown, Jake Packen and Chris Smiley all there, all looking for the perfect opportunity to bounce. They've just again been able to open up some daylight between themselves and Chris Smith as Packen contemplates making the move on Jono Brown as they head over Clay Hill. Car with Chris Smiley as we head out of Druids along towards Lodge Corner. Smiley's possibly got the inside run here on Jake Packen. Indeed he does, and through he goes. So Chris Smiley gains the position up into third place then for Chris Smiley. Nice move that, and very fair drive from Jake Packen. He gave him a car's width, but no more. As Shane Stoney looks to try around the outside at Druids on Ollie Walker as they do battle for the lead of the Cooper class, and that's incredibly brave stuff from Stoney as Walker just edges him out. It's Ricky Page then third in the Cooper class with Hamish Brandon fourth. Then Stoney flashes to the inside and Ollie Walker just keeps his car pretty squarely in the middle of the road. He's going to make Shane Stoney do this the hard way. At the moment, there isn't really the opportunity for Stoney as he now draws alongside over Deer Leap, and again Walker squeezing Shane Stoney towards the pit wall. He now gives him racing room, and Shane Stoney's got the inside line for Oulton and wrestles away the lead of the Cooper class. What a brilliant move that was for Shane Stoney. Really 3 corners in the making before he's finally able to get through. It all started at Druids. In car with Josh Gollin though, a replay of a wild ride at Lodge, and that's seen him lose out to Justin Taylor, as now Luke Cordell in the mix with some of the Cooper class runners, and that has promoted Chris Smiley. So Chris Smiley's moved in to lead the race. This then the fight for second between Cordell and Packen, and Jake Packen's got the run here on Luke Cordell, possibly into Britain's. Is he going to be able to find a way through? Thinks about braking very late into chicane. It's Josh Gollin who is just ahead of them, and Cordell has a big bite of curve as Gollin runs wide, and Chris Smiley pulls off the road. Problems for Chris Smiley, disaster for Smiley, and he is absolutely devastated by that as the cars head over Hilltop into Hizzies, with Cordell under maximum pressure now from Jake Packen, and Packen trying every which way to squeeze past him. Jono Brown is still in the mix as well as Packen now looks to close in on Cordell as they come up over Clay Hill towards Druids, and I think Packen's got the run here on Cordell as he would appear to have drawn alongside and gone through. So Jake Packen takes the lead of the race away from Luke Cordell in the late stages. Cordell slips to second, Jono Brown then in third as they head over the ripples of the road and into the braking zone for Lodge Corner. And well, Jake Packen, he has driven a very, very astute tactical race here. He's made his moves when he needed to as the checker flag goes out, and it's a win for Jake Packen in the Mini Challenge Oulton Park. Second place Luke Cordell, and third for Jono Brown, with Shane Stoney taking victory in the Cooper class from Hamish Brandon, and Ollie Walker completing the rostrum. What a brilliant race that was. Let's have a look then at the classification with the win for Jake Packen. Second place Luke Cordell, third Jono Brown, fourth Chris Smith, Leannan was fifth, and Kevin O'Connor claiming sixth. In terms of the classes, well, the JCW class the same as the top 3 in the race overall, so Jake Packen from Luke Cordell and Jono Brown, with Shane Stoney doing the Cooper class double after that brilliant move on Ollie Walker, Hamish Brandon in second, and Walker completing the podium. Handshakes and presentation of the Sunoco fuel voucher and the test drive draw entry ticket to Shane Stoney and Jake Packen. And now that the racing's done, it's time to make merry with the champagne at Oulton Park.
Champagne has gone everywhere.
You were 4th, 5th a lot of the time, and then all of a sudden you end up winning.
Yeah, gotta think. Well, I was in 4th throughout the battle. We were still struggling with a bit of pace issues, and I just started hanging on. I kept trying to gain a little bit on Jono Brown when he'd make the odd mistake, but even then we didn't have enough to start going and pop any moves in him. But as soon as them Coopers come, I thought this is the time is now. And I also saw that Smiley had come off, so I thought the win's to be taken, you know. So we got in there, put a fantastic move in on Jono Brown, sort of forced Luke into a mistake around the back a little bit, pulled it up his inside and just took it from there. But I mean, it's great to be gifted a win, because I mean, we've given so many wins out due to technical, and other things. So, and it was also great to have a race with Luke. You know, we've not had a proper race and we go back a long time, so it was good, really enjoyable.
Shane, dominant from 6th back up to the top again. You've done that before.
Yeah, that was my favourite race I've done this year. That was an awful lot of fun. It was a lot of battling, and then I managed to get a bit of a gap and just sort of bring it home. But I mean, it was just so much fun. That it was great.
And of course, that gives you a double win, doesn't it, here at Oulton?
Yeah, great result for us. Great result for the team. You know, the team's not based far from here, so you know it's a great result for them. So I got to thank them. Done a fantastic job with the car all year. So yeah. May continue.
Leaving Oulton Park then, this is how the standings look, with Shane Stoney leading the way from Hamish Brandon and Josh Gollin, although Gollin being pursued very closely by Chris Smith, Ollie Walker and Jake Packen.
Thrilling stuff to end the day here at Oulton Park, with our race leader in the JCWs, Chris Smiley, dropping out right in the last few minutes. And that's a perfect example of how things change so quickly in the mini challenge, which is why it's such an exciting championship. Remember, you can keep up to date with all things Mini Challenge by checking out our website. There's also our Facebook page, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well. We will see you next time at Castle Combe, but for now, from Oulton Park, it's goodbye.